Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sister Show. I am your host Deborah Mills, coming to you pre-recorded from my domain here on Earth. And from the title of this video, I'm sure you can tell we're here to talk about self-love, because I think it means different things to different people, but obviously it's my show, so I'm going to give my take on it. But before I do that, I'm just going to read, because I just googled it, the definition according to Oxford, what self-love is. And I don't have my glasses on. I will now. Self-love is regard for one's own well-being and happiness. Simple. But I think where people tend to get confused is the way that they go about expressing the self-love. Self-love, I think that definition covers everything. But the way people express that self-love is what is personal to everyone. And at the time when I wasn't so sure about it myself, I allowed somebody else to define self-love for me, and it didn't feel as fulfilling. For me, self-love, one of the things that I needed to do to express self-love for myself was enforce my boundaries with people. And I think self-love, because it is regard for one's own well-being and happiness, if you think about that being the ultimate goal of self-love, achieving that, what areas of your life do you feel is lacking in achieving that? Regard for one's own self and happiness. If you think about it, not that you know me, there was a point in my life that I was I was more insecure, very insecure, and I didn't see myself as someone worth respecting, someone worth loving. So I allowed, even though I didn't like it, it was a subconscious thing, I knew that I didn't like it, I allowed other people to trample over me, because I kind of thought naively, I don't think it's naive, but you do the best you can with the information you have available to you. I thought, if I, don't cause too much trouble, if I, allow certain situations to just pass, that things will get better. Meaning, basically, if I allow this person to disrespect me, maybe this situation could be over, it won't repeat itself again, and yeah, they've gotten their words out at my expense, insulting me, embarrassing me, humiliating me in front of people. But as long as they got it out and the situation's over, which isn't good. And for me, one of the things that I needed to learn for self-love was defending myself. I actually wrote it down. I wrote it down somewhere. I need to go get it. I'll read a few points, of what self-love means for me. I wrote 8 things here, but I'll only read as much as I'm comfortable reading. So the first thing I wrote was enforcing boundaries with other people, regardless of how they feel. Because if somebody's hell-bent on disrespecting you, they're not going to like it when you enforce your boundaries. Even for someone who wants to respect you, sometimes it's an awkward conversation. It's uncomfortable, especially if that wasn't your intention. But if it is, and you put them in their place, they're not going to like it. So I think people need to, if regard for one's own well-being and happiness is the ultimate goal, evaluate in your life, what does that look like for you? Because I'm enforcing my boundaries, but you may not have that problem. For you, self-love could be, I don't know. Everyone has different lives. Self-love could be, and this sounds so cliche, but traveling, doing certain activities on your own. Maybe you've relied so heavily on other people and they failed you. And it's like, I really want to go to these places, and, I don't want to be stuck within these 4 walls, because it's your well-being. You need to travel, expand your knowledge. Whatever that, that's an example, but obviously that's not the ultimate one. So I feel like, with that being high, with the regard for your own well-being and happiness being the ultimate goal, evaluate within yourself. What is it that's stopping you? What do you need to fix so that you can achieve that? For me, it's enforcing boundaries. Because when I enforce my boundaries, I don't allow, it's clear that I don't tolerate the disrespect, blah, blah, blah. Second thing I put is speaking my mind in front of other people. I don't know why there was a time, I actually remember a time in my life where I was younger. You come into this world with all this excitement and confidence for the world, and the world crushes it. But I remember there was a time in my life I had no problem speaking up. But now, as you grow older, you become aware of your trauma. The trauma takes place and it affects you in ways you may or may not realize. I'm contemplating, what if I say this and then I end up looking stupid because maybe they've already said it or it doesn't make sense. And then I keep quiet. And then somebody else says the same thing. And then they get an applause, they get told it's a good idea. And I'm like, damn it, I'm not gonna do that again. And I've had so many situations like that, that it's like, why am I wasting time not speaking up for myself? I don't have anything to gain from that, because all it takes is when you don't speak up for yourself, people tend to see you as a footstool, essentially. So, and let me see if I can find something else. The third thing I put was standing up for myself when disrespected, but that comes under enforcing boundaries. Oh, this is an important one. Showing/giving myself the love, patience, and grace that I would give to other people. I easily give to other people when they mess up. Because if you think about it, people tend to say, be your own best friend. What does that look like? You hear one celebrity describe it, and they'll say like, you know, talk to yourself how you would talk to a friend. If a friend does something dumb, and you know they fucked up, you wouldn't put them down because they wouldn't want to be around you anymore. You're kicking them when they're down, because that doesn't provide any positive results in the moment. And yeah, it's just not positive. But then when we do something bad, we're very easy to just allow. Some people say it to themselves, oh, stupid, stupid, stupid. Or some people allow the voice, the echoes of people who put them down in the past to play in their minds, which is what I feel like I've done. I would never call myself stupid. I would never call myself an idiot. I just don't see myself doing that, because there is, even though my insecurities shrink the love I had from, you know, my insecurities sort of shrunk the love that I expressed for myself growing up. There was still some left, that's like a stub. And I'm like, so I would never say something about that to myself. I would never say I'm stupid, because I know I'm not. But when you hear some negative things over and over again, it starts to have an effect on you. And it starts to have an effect on you. And yeah, anyway, so one thing I need to focus on is, for self-love, for maintaining my self-love, is giving myself that patience, love, and grace. Speaking to myself as if I'm speaking to somebody else, but it's very uncomfortable, because when you fucked up, you know that other people are very quick, especially the ones who want good for you, are very quick to point out how you fucked up. They're really quick to point out how you made a mistake, you did this, you did that, how could you, do you know any blah, 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 blah. So we can easily point it to ourselves. And we accept that, because it almost, I don't know, this is not a logical thing. It doesn't, I can explain it, but it doesn't make sense. To sort of speak to yourself as you're speaking to a friend means you're not going to put yourself down. It almost feels like you're boosting your own ego. That's how it feels to someone who's not used to it in the moment. So I don't want to go on a tangent before I digress. But self-love, according to the dictionary, let me just read it again. Oh, I don't have my glasses. Let me just... regard for one's own well-being and happiness, and the ways that people choose to achieve those things is completely up to you, is arbitrary. But just make sure you're doing that, because don't let anyone else define what self-love is for you, because people can point out areas of improvement for you, but they can't tell you what self-love is for you, because it's as good for you. No one can tell you like the nutrients you need in your body. You know what nutrients you need and nutrients you don't need. No one else can tell you that for you. I mean, a doctor can, but that's besides the point. You know, so don't allow someone to define it for you, because you know, if they have bad intentions, they're going to define the wrong things for you. If they have bad intentions for you, they're probably going to define what they consider self-love, and they're going to define something that will serve them. So in a time when I didn't know what self-love is, I allowed someone else to define it, because I wasn't thinking about it. It wasn't like I allowed it, I just didn't think about it, so I just accepted it. That person mentioned, oh, what self-love is, and the only thing they would talk about was superficial things. In my opinion, just getting your nails done, getting your hair done, and that's, to me, that's external, that's superficial. What about the internal? That's what you're living with, really. That's what keeps you up at night. That's what is going to ruminate on your mind when you don't defend yourself, when you don't maintain your boundaries. So make sure define what self-love is for you. Don't let anyone else define it. People's opinions are really overrated, honestly. Like, people's opinions don't mean shit outside of where it matters. In my life, my opinion matters greatly. My opinion after God is the most important. What I want for myself, what my desires are, what I want to do, how I want to do it, that is my business. That's where my opinion matters. But then if I see someone else do something wrong and I go give them my opinion, my take, my opinion doesn't matter there, because that's not my business. Do you understand? So stay in your lane, stay in your business. This is where your opinion matters. Outside of there is where it doesn't matter. Okay? So I don't need to tell you, mind your business. Opinion doesn't mean shit. I think you just naturally know, because here I am minding my business. I'm minding my business, and you need to mind your own, because who will mind it if it's not you? Who is mind it if it's not you? And if somebody else is minding your business, that's a problem. That's a very big problem. That's not natural. You understand? When it comes to your things in your lane, in your life, they're your business. That's where your opinion matters the most. Outside of that, you're out of bounds in that area. Like, return home. I digress. Actually, no, I don't digress. I'm on point. But yeah, define it for yourself so that no one defines it for you. And if you need time to think about it, there's no time frame. You don't need to think about it before the year comes to an end. Abby, that's the time I'm recording this video. But you don't need to think about it, before the end of the month or the end of the week. I think you would naturally know what things that you're unhappy with. If something bothers you, think about that. I mean, if there's something that bothers you that you think about constantly, that's a problem that needs to be fixed, and that doesn't go okay. That doesn't promote self-love. So I don't want to make this video too long before I just end up talking for the sake of talking, but I really hope I've got my point across. And if there happens to be something that's missing, I would really love to hear people's opinions, because I am open to discussion with people. But one thing I don't like is when I give my opinion about something and then people start trashing you, start attacking you because they don't agree, or because they just want to start something. There are people like that in the world. They just want to start something. They're bored, so they think about a problem and be like, what about your parents' opinions? Your parents' opinions are very important. Okay, I mean, if you tell me your opinion in a calm and constructed way, I will listen. But if you come out of nowhere and then you start attacking the tones of the body languages of if it's in person, I'm not going to listen. But anyway, let me not go too far before you click off my video. But anyway, define what self-love is for you. Do not let anybody else do that for you. Your opinion matters in all matters in your life, but outside of that, you're out of bounds. And that applies to other people as well. No matter who they are to you, parents, they have their life to live. They may want the best for you, but that doesn't mean it's good for you. So they have their life. So your opinion matters the most. Define what self-love is for you. Bye-bye.